It's 4 a.m. I am sitting at work, bored out of my mind, as I'm the only one here right now, other than the doctor who's asleep. And so I thought I would do something at least semi-constructive. And I thought I'd make a video about some things not to do in the summertime with your dogs. Um, I live in the South. It gets really hot. Even here in East Tennessee, it gets incredibly hot a lot of days. I'm from Memphis, so I'm used to a whole lot more humidity than this. But it's still just incredibly hot. I mean, it's been in the 90s, the mid 90s all week, and it's just barely June. Um, and we've already had a ton of cases here. I'm an emergency room vet tech, and so we've had a ton of cases already this year that have been heat related, and several of them have not ended well at all. So I thought I'd just give a few pointers on things not to do, and to do. Some of it seems probably like common sense, but here we go. The first is any long-haired, really any dog you have in the summertime, if you were at all able to, bring it inside. As a kid, we had a lab who lived outside, and mom didn't want her in the house. But when it got hot in the summertime, starting late April, mid-April, we always would put her in our garage. Our garage had a side door. It was on the north side of the house, kind of the north, it's the northwest corner of the house, and so it very rarely got direct sun between the houses across the street, the trees across the street, and the fact that one whole side of it was on the north. It was great. She did fine, put some water in there for her. I think we left the door cracked so she could get in and out because it was shaded by trees and stuff too. But anything like that, if you can bring it all the way in the house, it's even better. It's just unbearably hot. Especially long-haired dogs. Any long-haired dogs, love of God, bring them inside. It's too warm for them to be outside. They are not meant to live, excuse me, in these warm climates anyway. So even on a good day, just be careful and bring them in. Also limit exercise. If you're gonna go walking, best thing in the world to do is get up and go walking early in the morning. Um, you know, Obviously, you don't want to go walking midday. It's hot for you. Just think of the dog. Dogs can't sweat. That's why they pant. It's the only way for their body to expel really any heat other than a little bit they can expel through their pads. However, if you're running around on hot concrete, it's not doing anything but adding extra heat to their body. Um, and so, you can you can also go after work at night. Problem with that is that we see dogs whose pads are burned because they've gone on a long walk at night. It's cool, sure, it feels great, but that concrete's hot. You have on shoes, the dog doesn't. So that's another problem. Um, Sorry, I made a few notes over here. Um, make sure that your dogs that are outside, if you're not able to bring them in or whatever, make sure there's a good shaded area. The north side of the house with some kind of awning, a water bowl, or like my lab that we had as a kid, she had a kiddie pool that we would fill up with water every morning, and she would drink a ton of it. Um, but it's we pulled that on the north side of the house too, so that it stayed nice and cool, didn't get any direct sun, and that she didn't have to go out into the sun to get it. Um, Also, short-faced dogs, the brachiocephalic dogs, so things like boxers, pugs, Boston Terriers, those are the ones that I always think of off the top of my head. They have a shortened airway thanks to our wonderful idea in breeding, and so they can't cool off the air that they bring into their body like they need to. The air's really hot. That's why they pant and gasp a lot, more than other breeds. Um, just the other day, we had a dog that the owner had put it outside for just a minute, and she'd forgotten about it. The dog probably went outside longer than 30 minutes. The dog was dead by the time she made it to the clinic. It takes absolutely no time for those dogs to overheat. So you really want to be careful. You want to limit their exercise and anything, even more so in the summertime than you do even a long-haired dog. It's just not worth it. Stand outside with them for a minute while they go to the bathroom. Bring them right back in. So many things can happen to them. They tend to have a lot of breathing problems even in the wintertime. It's just not worth it. That's pretty much it. If you are in the event that your dog you think is having a heat stroke, do not put it in ice water. Don't even run it in cold water. Call your vet. Call your regular vet-type clinic. If you're around a city of any size, likelihood is that there is an emergency center, really, really within a couple hours of you at the most. Your dog is going to need some veterinary attention. In the meantime, roll the windows down on the way to the vet, let some cool air blow in that way. Put a fan near the dog um, if you can't make it to a vet clinic. It's really not the best, but if you can't, put a fan near it, not directly on it. You'll cool it down too much. Just be real careful. Like I said, it's hot, and maybe up north it doesn't get quite so hot, but down here in the south it just gets really hot for dogs. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm an open book, and I've been doing this for near 10 years now. So I've got a lot of information, a lot of knowledge built up. Feel free to ask. Thanks. Y'all have a good one.